What is going on YouTube? This is Madrian Maximi making you another Black Ops 2 video, and today I have a very special topic I'd like to go ahead and discuss, and that is the reflection of shotguns in Black Ops 2. And I'm going to be doing a lot of these reflections as Black Ops 2 draws to a close, simply because the practicality of any useful information about weapons would pretty much be discarded as this game draws closer to the end of its life. Now, I am going to also relate to Ghosts, and I'm going to go ahead and start the gameplay while I introduce the purpose of this commentary. I had an awesome game with the Remington. It really inspired me to do this commentary, and I'm going to go ahead and start out and say that the Remington is by far my favorite shotgun. Now, some of the biases that I have in this commentary, I wasn't really a fan of any of the other shotguns except the Remington. The Remington was by far my most used, my most abused shotgun of the four, and I'm partial to it. So that's really the only big notable bias you guys need to worry about. And with the Remington, I saw a lot of simplicity in it. It was really easy to use. A beginner who had no shotgun experience or little shotgun experience, if they were at least competent in Call of Duty, they could easily pick up something like the Remington and do decently well with it. Now, I'd reached the point in this gameplay, in this stage of my gaming, that I could almost analyze my enemy. I could almost kind of tell when I'm going to have the appropriate tools or situation to kill somebody, and that really helped me out in this gameplay. Kept my deaths to a minimum, helped my kills out a lot, and it's something that I didn't have with other shotguns, but that's just me personally. I feel the Remington's very easy to use, very non-specific to any kind of role, except, you know, being a shotgun. Within the I guess what I mean by that is, within the category of shotguns, it's not specified at all. It's not meant at in-your-face combat like the S12, and it's not going to be, like, kind of sniping almost with the KSG. It's not like that. It's pretty easy. All you do is throw the attachments you want on there for the desired role you want on there. If you want to stealth, you can put a suppressor. If you want to get in their face, you can put a long barrel laser like I have. It's all just kind of your personal playstyle with the Remington. But it's a very easy, general, simple weapon to use, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. It wasn't hard to use at all. Now, moving along to the S12, I feel the S12 was more specialized for close-range combat. Didn't have the forgiving range of the Remington. If you hit a guy with 2 shots and didn't kill him, he'll turn around, and unless you can squeeze off those other 2 and manage to get the guy, he's going to dust you to the walls. And the S12 was a very unforgiving shotgun. Most of the shotguns were pretty unforgiving. The Remington in particular was one of the more forgiving ones. If you missed, or at least if you got a hit marker, you would be alright. Now, the thing with the S12 that I really liked was its ability to fire multiple shots so fast. The KSG and the Remington, you have to pump, and the M12-16, you gotta rotate the barrels on. So, with that, the S12 definitely had the fastest fire rate, and if you were at least stuffing the barrel up the guy's ass, you could easily get off a second shot and kill him with no worries. That being said, it really didn't have the range I was looking for, and the reload was, I had to reload a lot, and the reload time was pretty tedious for a shotgun. With the Remington or KSG, I could easily just slip another round in there and hope that I can hit the guy with that shot. But with the S12, if you're out of ammo and you get rushed, unless you have a fast mag, you're pretty much dead. So, the thing I liked about the S12 I'm sorry, that was terrible. I have like a stuttering disease in that sentence, so I'm going to go ahead and retry it. The S12 has a kind of up-close kind of taper to it. It's very intuitive to rush somebody with a shotgun, and that's one thing that the S12 put into play really well, and I really did like it for that reason, but it was very specialized. It wasn't good at much else. The attachments were pretty limited. If you suppress the S12, God help you, then you have no range on that at all. It's pretty much past the point of no return if you suppress that shotgun. But I managed to have a moderate degree of success with it. I managed to have a moderate degree of success with all the shotguns. But I think I failed most with the KSG. Now, the KSG in particular is a very oriented weapon. It fires a slug. It's not like the other shotguns. It's not a partial hit, partial miss. It's either you hit the guy or you don't. And generally, at the range that you want to be at with the KSG, you can easily hit somebody and you will either sit them down or hurt them really bad. The most damage, I take that back, the least damage that you can do is 75 damage at the appropriate range. It doesn't get any less than 75. After 75 damage, at a certain range, it tapers off to 0, because remember, the shotguns in Black Ops 2 are engineered so that once they go past a certain range, it's not like they have a minimum damage like any other weapon in the game. They just disappear. They simply cease to exist. And if you hit somebody with the KSG in any sort of range that the Remington or S12 or M1216 is expected to kill somebody at, you are definitely going to kill that guy, and you have at least another 10-15 yards before you get that 75 damage hit. Now with this, the KSG, this is all assuming that you hit the guy. If you miss the guy, he's going to be, number one, he's going to be completely fine. Number two, you're going to have to re-rake that action. You're going to have to re-pump the shotgun, which is precious time wasted. That's the other thing about the KSG I don't like, is not only is it a hit or miss, that guy already knows where I'm at, and I have to re-rake the shotgun for another try. So it was definitely a one-shot opportunity kind of deal. The Remington at least had the forgiveness in that if you missed that one shot, it was kind of a spread shot, and you could kind of hit the guy and hope to wound him further and get that kill. KSG is kind of the same way. You can either leave him completely injured, rake the bolt or action, and hope to set him down with that second shot, but it was definitely a shotgun where it was more important to land your shots than with the Remington, and I was never any good at it. When I use a shotgun, I'm in the mindset that, okay, I have to get close to this guy, I have to rush up on him, I have to get right in his face, I have to point this barrel at his cheek, I have to feel the skin on his face for me to do any damage. And for me, the Remington suited that purpose just fine. The S12, not so much. I like having a bit of leeway so that if he's not as close as I need him to be, I can still kind of wing him off. The KSG, you almost want to play conservatively. You want to make sure he doesn't see you, but at the same time, you can afford yourself a nice range. I think there's a lot of value in the KSG that I didn't see, and looking back, I wish I would have taken more time to get to know the KSG, if you will, get to know its ins and outs, try it a little bit more. My clanmate Predator CG was always into the KSG, props to him, and I wasn't. So it almost in order kind of goes with my interest. The Remington I'm extremely interested in, the S12 I'm moderately interested in, the KSG slightly interested, and the M1216 was by far probably the least attempted of all my shotguns. Just because the M1216 is so strange. I mean, who hears of a weapon that has 3 barrels? I honestly have never heard of a weapon that has 3 barrels. The only double barrel weapon that I know is a double barrel shotgun. But seriously, 3 barrels on a shotgun, that's kind of just extending the design to a level of unfamiliarity that I'm not willing to risk. And it was just a strange weapon. Now granted, some people really did have this strangeness adapted to them in a way where they could really do some damage, and props to them. Props to you guys. I don't know who you are, but I can certainly tell you for me that the KSG, or excuse me, the M1216 was a really unpleasant surprise for me. It was a surprise that I really wasn't willing to tap into the secrets to. I have no regrets as far as the M1216 goes. The one thing that I did like about it was that I had 4 shots and I could continue to fire in some respects faster than the S12, and I had a lot of ammo, but I had to reload fairly often, and sometimes it was just too inconsistent for me. I could clip the guy with 4 rounds, or I could kill him in 1, and it was too inconsistent, and that was my primary complaint about it. That's why I didn't use it as much as I did, and I'm not sorry about that. I personally think the M1216 was a terrible weapon for me. It wasn't like the Executioner. I didn't have to. I didn't just try it and put it down. I tried it over and over and over again and realized that it wasn't working, but I didn't give it the shot it deserves, and I'm not sorry for that. I just knew I didn't have the playstyle. So, all in all, I think Treyarch did a really nice job of designing their shotguns. They had a shotgun for everybody, and at least they made it with the Pick-10 system, a degree of customization that you couldn't get with, say, Modern Warfare 3 or any other shotgun like that. You kind of just had to suck it up. With the Pick-10 system, you can do whatever you want with a shotgun, and that, compared with the Remington, is my favorite. Now, I'm going to tell you why the Remington is my favorite shotgun. Because with that Pick-10 system, you're already taking a weapon that's versatile. A lot of the beginning guns are, like the MTAR and the MK48, they're versatile weapons, and there's a reason for that. If somebody's starting out in Call of Duty and they're new, they're not going to want a gun that's Call of Duty specialized to this player because they've been playing this game for 8 years. They're going to want a gun that is very simple to use, and they're going to want a gun that they can just pick up and gun with no problem, doesn't have any apparent weaknesses, no apparent strengths, and they can contour it as they see fit once they get more familiar with the game. The fact that you had the Pick-10 system in there to integrate with that degree of simplicity is really astonishing, and it's something that I have always kind of appreciated. Now, I want to go back to the beginning of the film, and I want to go into some of the key highlights of it to explain to you some of my appreciation for the Remington's ease of use. And the only thing I think is really worth noting is this three-piece here at the beginning that I pick up. It was a really big highlight for me, and you can see that the way I maneuvered the shotgun. See, there's one, and I was surprised I got a hit marker, but I finished him off, and I think the third kid just had bad gun skill. I'll show you again. But I was really impressed with my ability to pull that off. I really didn't think it was going to happen, and that's one of my key appreciations for the Remington because it saves me sometimes. Now, looking into Ghosts, I want more of a forgiving feel with the shotguns. I want more shotguns to be based more like the Remington. I know they're going to have a Russian hunting shotgun and a shotgun manufactured but for the Australian military. I forget their names, but they can each hold more than 5 shells, and I'm excited to see what Infinity Ward's going to have for us. Well guys, that's pretty much my wrap-up of Black Ops 2 Shotguns. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe.